Welcome to Kicking and Eating. I'm your host, Shihan Chef Yah Sigidi. And today we have the last episode for Odette, Sidagoo, Russell of Swam. Alright, we're gonna finish up the soy vinaigrette. Alright, that's gonna be for the chicken meatball salad. And at the same time, we're gonna produce both salads. We're gonna put both of them next to each other and compare them on today's Kicking and Eating. Let's go. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating. We talk about martial arts and what's happening. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating. We're breaking bread on the spot thing. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating. Kicking and eating with my guests, that's a sure thing. Kicking and eating, kicking and eating. Our praise is due to the one that made all things. Human trafficking is on the rise. You say 80% and up. Most of it is for sex. We see the Weinstein situation. We see how human trafficking is on TV and things like that. Tell us how bad it is right now and what could be done.
Well, first let me give you what human trafficking is. Human trafficking is like, if you could look at it like a pie, and within the pie you see slices, like pieces. And so there's facets of human trafficking. There's sex trafficking. There's labor trafficking. Labor, that's slavery. Believe it or not, they're kidnapping people and using them as slaves. Okay, and that exists. All right. Then there's what you call
organ harvesting.
There's forced marriage. So you're, forcing someone to marry them. There's something called forced surrogacy. And what that is you kidnap somebody, you rape them until they get pregnant, and then you take their baby and either sell the baby to someone who wants to buy a baby, or you groom the baby to be for the baby to be sex trafficked. Or you cut the baby up and sell it for parts, and that's the other part, which is organ harvesting. So the thing is about forced marriage, forced surrogacy, sex trafficking, labor trafficking, all those things had existed for thousands of years. The concubine, slavery, and all that. What is different? What makes this different now? And why it's jumped so high is organ harvesting. We're now in a society where our body is outliving our organs. And that's occurring because of our environment. We are living in a highly toxic, radioactive environment. Our foods are synthetics. Our environment is all these electronics, okay, which gives off radioactivity.
Yes, radiation.
And we're constantly medicated. We're constantly medicated. We have an ache and pain, medication. And so as a result, our detoxing organs like our liver and our kidneys and our digestive organs are burning out or dying. And so there are more people that need organ transplants than there are organs available, because of these organs, you can't get them unless someone dies.
Yeah. So
what happens is a person is actually worth more dead because they're cutting every part of their body. And we're talking they can sell the cornea, their eyes, their lungs, the liver, the heart, their kidneys, their reproductive parts of their bodies. All right. And there's a market for it. Now we're in like a modern day Dracula and Frankenstein. So the Frankenstein is just cutting up people's part and giving it to people. And you've had people, because it's illegal for you to sell your organs, because there are places people are selling their kidneys because you can survive off of one kidney. And there are people who are selling, their kidney. Which is illegal for you to sell your kidney. But you have people with deep pockets that are able to I need a new liver. So I'm blood type this, and that's where they'll traffic you based on your blood type. They'll all of a sudden you disappear because they know what your blood type is, or they'll just kidnap a whole bunch of people and they'll think, or they'll have somebody in the system, like in their organization, and they're like, they know who everybody that's in the organization, they know what their blood type, because we'll prostitute her for the first 5 years, and this is 15 years old. They'll snatch her at 15 until she's 20 and she's all used up. Then we'll make her a slave, and then when we find out we have no more use of her, we'll sell her body parts. But if I can make if someone with big deep pockets have this blood type, then we'll just cut her open right now, because we can make a lot of money by selling her heart or something like that. And so it's like the human trafficking. They'll shift you from division based on where they need you. Your life is no longer yours. So when I said it's a horror story, the other part that they extract, and this is where it affects us as African American, is melanin. Now, melanin is a molecule that helps, and everybody has melanin in their body. Everybody. Doesn't make a difference what color. But the darker you are, the more that you have. And melanin is not just helps with the UV rays and the sun rays. It's actually a conductor. It helps as an electricity conductor goes through you. And you're an amazing vessel. And the more melanin you have, the more that your body is able to recuperate. The more that your DNA is able to repair itself. Yes. The more that you're able to distract radiation. And we're surrounded by radiation, so this is a big deal. Definitely. So they figured out how to, and this is again a conspiracy theory. Not a lot of people will say it really exists, but I've seen a lot of videos that said it does, but I'm just getting it out there that it is a conspiracy theory. But I kind of believe it, because I can't believe that so many Black people are disappearing for just heart, lungs, and kidneys. Yes. And so they figured out how to distract melanin from the skin, and they are using it like a fountain of youth. And they're helping people who have cancer, or who are, and it's helping people with premature aging. As a matter of fact, someone with more melanin aged 10 years less than someone with less.
I think that's the
and what they're talking about, like the body. I'm sorry, I know I'm doing so much talking.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think that's the black don't crack theory, I guess.
Exactly. And it's kind of like it's a different thing where maybe the average skin was called cell turnover rate, where when cell turns over like every 28 days, that means it renews itself. But if you have a lot of melanins, every 25 days. And if you're aging, it's 30 days. And just those 5 days is a big difference of you losing your elasticity. So the other part, though, now what I want to talk to you about is the vampire part of human trafficking. And the vampire part of human trafficking is there's a substance, again, it's conspiracy theory, okay? And you don't have to believe me, just do your research. But there's a product called adrenochrome, which is basically it's a liquid that is secreted from someone's blood who has a high level of adrenaline. Now, what adrenaline is you put it develops in your blood. It's a hormone that your adrenal gland releases every time you're afraid. Okay. And when you deal with fear, which is stress or the fight and flight, about 50 different hormones are released from your adrenal gland, and one of them is adrenaline. And they managed to use that as another fountain of youth. And you got to have like deep pockets for it, because it gives you like this amazing high from what I heard, and it's also highly addictive. But it rejuvenates your blood, so it's like you're drinking someone's blood. The interesting part about the adrenochrome, it is most potent when it comes from someone who's 10 years and younger.
Wow.
So that means that they're terrifying, torturing, mutilating these kids before they drain their blood. And this is our world. This is our world. And this is why you're saying so many of us are disappearing. So I'm not on a, I don't walk around and talk about human trafficking because that is such a, I mean, I talk about it, but I'm not, I don't know. All I can do is just tell people to protect themselves, to be aware of their environment, to, most important, listen to their intuition. Listen to that part of that brain, which is on the right side of the hemisphere, that alerts you that something doesn't feel right. And don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Be aware of your environment. If you see a stranger more than once, that's not a coincidence. Why am I seeing this person? Also know that a trafficker, and people just assume a trafficker is this big, mean, creepy guy, but a trafficker could be a child. A child that's doomed to lure you. A trafficker could be a high school kid that invites you to a party.
That's what they said. That's what Weinstein did, because he had other young kids who went to certain schools to bring their friends and other people, you know, to come to his house. They also say that 83% of sex trafficking is children that live in regular homes. I want people to know that. Regular homes. And that took me a minute to process that. I said, what? Regular homes? Because I thought it was something like in movies, you get people from other countries and, you know, you do whatever, you know. I thought it was like that. But once I read that, I said, that is crazy.
83% of sex trafficking victims in the United States are United States citizens. 83%.
Wow.
So we're not talking about someone they snatched from overseas and brought here. They're bringing them here. During the Super Bowl, when we had the last Super Bowl here, they had a busload of kids taken to a hotel for these creeps to just do whatever they're doing with them, and then they'd send them kids back home. And you could imagine, like, a 16-year-old cool kid, a trafficker goes to her and say, I'll give you $500 to bring that little girl over to my house. And she's like, oh, sure, I'll do it. $500, I'll do it. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry that has so many people involved. Why it's so successful, from police officers, teachers, attorneys, and of course doctors. Okay, because the people who are cutting these people open have to know about the anatomy. And I'm not saying it's just only physicians. It could be veterinarians. It could be people that work in the morgue, you know, that know about the human body.
What do traffickers look for in these kids? I mean, it's low self-esteem, a broken home. What do they look for?
Well, the trait that attracts a trafficker, it could be the vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the vulnerable, those from broken homes, foster care, the one that I told you that from 3 years old, that knew fear, the one that found no love at home, that goes in the street all the time. Then it's the forgotten. The forgotten are the runaways, the societal rejects. Then there's the non-supervised, those that go to the mall and nobody knows they're at the mall, or they're hanging out. You know, the parent. It's not a bad parent; they're just so busy. And then the drug addicts are because they get high in drug dens and they don't know where they're at. They're easily snatched. And then the other one is characteristic. And characteristic is like what I said, melanin. So someone that's dark skinned might be more of attraction. But then there's a personality trait. Okay, so the personality trait is And this is why I love martial arts, is because martial arts enhances self-esteem, and by it
Yeah.
enhancing self-esteem, it pulls you kind of out of the radar of the
Yeah.
predator. And so, and I'm just going to say this real quick, and I know we're going into like an hour and a half.
It's fine.
And,
It's fine. It's fine.
but one of the main things I like to look at society is in three different categories. You have the sheep, and the sheep is like maybe 85% of the average people in our society. And the sheep go to work, they pay their bills, they are honorable people, and they're there for their neighbors, but they don't address violence. They know it exists, but they don't think it'll happen to them, and they don't address violence, Then there are the wolves. The wolves are the smallest of the group. The wolves are the opportunists, the murderers, the muggers, the traffickers, the rapists, the manipulators, the narcissists, the dictators, the ones that hurt people and take from people. They're not as many, but their goal is to find the weakest of the sheep and take advantage of them for whatever way they're going to take advantage of them. And then maybe like, I'm sorry, and then maybe like the 10% is the sheepdog. And that's who we are. And we're just like, we look just like the sheep. We go to work, we pay our bills, we're kumbaya and all that. Except the difference is we deal with violence. And because we have that tone that we deal with violence, the wolves stay away from us. They avoid us at all costs. And people who have sheepdog mentality will be like in the law enforcement or in the armed forces or whatever like that. My goal is to convert sheep into sheepdog. So even as a child, if you teach a child to be in.
Yeah, I lost you for a second. Yeah,
Hi, I'm sorry.
We're good.
And even if you can be the sheep, what I'm trying to do is get even a child to look a parent in the eye or look an adult in the eye. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But have this assertiveness, like this is someone that we know we cannot manipulate. We know we cannot control. They're going to give us a fight. So we're going to go after the weaker person. Or another thing to be careful, because the primary age a child will be abducted is 15 years old, when they're just getting into high school.
I was about to say the same thing. Does brain development play a part in that? Because adolescence, childhood.
Yeah, feeling themselves. They think they're old enough. They think they know everything. They are giving more freedom where they can go with their friends. They can spend the night out. They're not monitored as often, and predators take advantage of that. They're also on social media a lot, and by saying things like, I'm going again to my friends, and they tell where they're at. They tell themselves. They tell their story. And predators look and study. There's even like saying like if you have things in your car, well, you're letting people know all about you. Like you let people know you have kids, you got and I love my dog, and I have a little dog, and and you're letting people know your life.
Yeah. Did you see A Call to Courage?
No.
Netflix movie called A Call to Courage, and one of the quotes that she said in there, promise them heaven and they will follow you to hell.
Yeah.
Promise them heaven and they will follow you to hell.
There's another sad story too, in that a hungry child will do anything.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Wow. How can my stream fam, this is what I call all my followers, the people who watch this program, how can the stream fam out there contact you on social media or
my Instagram is Sidagoo, spelled Sidagoo, Sidagoo, which is a title. Sidagoo means mother of Swam, top female instructor, which I'm beyond that. I created my own system under my husband's system, which is Sisters Warriors Against Madness. And my website is DrOdetteRussell.com. I'm sorry, DrOdetteRussell.net, N-E-T. Dr. DrOdetteRussell.net. And Odette Russell is Facebook. You can message me. I'll probably get it. I tend to respond. Yeah.
Before we go into you demonstrating any of these self-defense techniques, I think we need to go into the wheel of topics. And let's spin the wheel and see let's go to the wheel of topics and see what the wheel of topics is talking about right now. All right, let's spin the wheel. Humility. Wow.
I love it. That's a perfect topic.
Hey, what does humility mean to you?
So, humility is really important. As a martial artist, or even having the understanding of learning the anatomy, which I'm going to teach you the vulnerable areas of the human anatomy, there's like a sense of power. And that sense of power, behind it comes a sense of responsibility. And that responsibility is you have to have humility. You have to have the understanding that that you can't use it to hurt, to control, to manipulate, to disfigure. You have to have real control of yourself. And as you grow as a person, the best part of you and that shines is the character that you build inside of you. And so it's not just about being loyal, it's not just about being disciplined or dedicated, but it's just about being humble. It's about knowing that you can learn from an insect. Knowing, because that in martial arts, there's one system that you learn how to take out a grown man by being a praying mantis, you know?
Yes.
Or, and I know that for me, I learned some of my best lessons from children. Because children have honesty. Like, wow,
yeah, they're so pure and innocent. Yes.
I forgot that thinking. But you can't be open to see the best lessons if you think you know everything.
Yes.
If you think that person has something to give you, because the person might talk differently than you, or the person might look different, or the person might not be as old as you, or might not be on the same level as you think. I have a PhD in health psychology.
All right.
And I learned from my granddaughter, who's 2 years old. You know? And that's amazing. I hope
that's
that
great. So any techniques you want to show us before we get out of here?
Well, can you see him okay? That's Bob over there. He's been really patient.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Bob been waiting patiently.
Bob, boy, I'm gonna freak out. Okay, let me get up. So if you can see us, okay?
Yes, we can see you perfectly.
Okay. So what I want to show you is that basically, I'm not going to show you a whole lot because we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But basically, what everybody has is 2 eyes, a throat, okay, and a groin, ears, the temple, and the nose. This part here is a waste of time because this is hard.
Okay.
So and you hit like this, and some men it might even be a turn on. Okay. Keep in mind that when we're striking, the areas that we want to strike is the areas that's going to cause the most damage with the least amount of power.
Okay.
All right. The problem is even when if I was to kick here, that would hurt him and maybe shock him, but not enough for him to want to beat my butt.
Yeah.
But if I hit him and I do that, then now, you see what I did?
You want to hit hard with soft.
Huh?
I said you want to hit hard with soft.
I want to
because
hit him.
So certain areas is the soft parts.
Right. So I hit him, but I'll show you real quick. So let's say, for instance, poking me. All right. So I'll just put this like this, and he's crushing my carotid artery. My carotid artery feeds blood to my brain, which means I have only seconds before I might pass out. So I am to try to fight him from this. He's going to squeeze tighter.
Yes.
But if I kick him in the he might loosen it up.
Okay.
He might not let me, but he might loosen it up where I can get it off. And I can get him off the throat. If I hit with the or I hit with what we call tiger's knot, or I crush the throat. From here, I can dig in the eyes. Yeah. Okay? I can elbow. Then I can knee him. But the key is that I don't stop.
Yes.
That's so let's say like I come here, pop, hit, pop. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, definitely.
The same thing if he comes around me like this and he's choking me like this. If my hands are here, it gets closer. My hands are already down. I'm out the it's going.
Yes, yes.
Once it's going or grab into his side, this loosens up. I can hit and go back. And it's not rocket science. I could do the same stuff. Dig in the eyes.
Yeah.
When I dig in the eyes, I use the thumb and grab.
Yes. Okay. You want to create hysteria in the mind. You want to create hysteria in the brain. You want the brain to be thinking so many different things that the person sooner or later has to let go.
No, he's thinking one thing. And the one thing he says, I should have never woke up this morning. That's what he's saying. Go back home to. So let's say he got a hood on. Okay? And again, he's choking me, right? And basically what I would do, if let's say he's not choking me, let's say like he's grabbing me and he's doing this, I'm gonna just cough in his face.
Yeah.
And you know, with Corona, it's like oh.
Definitely.
His face. It's all I need to do this.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Now, when I got the groin, I'm like, let's do this right. And I actually tied it so my girls, we go up the thigh, turn, grip. That's nice, right? Yeah.
Oh, wow. I felt that right there, and I'm scared right now from over here.
That's only down.
Yes.
This pass is up, just hammer, sword, punch up, peg. You know what I'm saying? Just hit it up.
Yes, definitely.
But if you crush and pull, I like to turn. I like to turn it.
Yes.
Pull it.
Yes.
Okay. So with, let's say he has a hood and he's grabbing me or choking me. Again, I'm just gonna kick or knee, let him come down, hit, come down, turn.
Yes.
Maybe out.
Yes,
so,
yes.
All right?
Yes.
Let's talk about a cell phone. Cell phone is nasty. This is like a walk-around hammer.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
If I'm doing this part and it's on a horizontal, I'll hit.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I go this, now I hit that part. The other thing about the cell phone you don't realize is you can hit the corners. I can dig in the eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cell phone, nasty.
One of the things I teach my daughters is that always make sure when you coming home, you have your keys in your hands. Have your keys in your hands, because the keys you also jab and poke. You know what I mean? And those are great weapons
Or a
also.
pen.
Yeah, or
Or a
pen.
pen.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
you're holding a pen, hold it like this, and then
Yeah,
you can hit all
yeah,
the area
yeah.
you have
Yes,
through
yes, yes.
the
Oh my
throat, the trach.
God.
You hit up the nose. This is a death
Yes,
flow. With
yes,
the
yes, yes.
bladder.
You could embalm them.
I'll go up the arm. I'll go
Yes.
down the armpit.
Uh,
You know, and it's so much fun.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes, yes. Oh, my sister, it was so great talking to you.
thank you.
Gentlemen.
Thank you for putting up with me for an hour.
Man, I did not put up with you. I enjoyed every minute. We enjoyed it. My stream fam out there enjoyed it. And we are so grateful we had the opportunity to talk to you today, my sister.
I just want to say one thing, that violence is strictly forbidden unless under legitimate self-defense.
Yes, definitely.
There is a high level of responsibility in knowing this. And the biggest part of it, the biggest tool that you have in your body that you can rely on for any attack is your brain.
Yes.
That you can rely on. And you need to use it to see how you can avoid the situation. Even though I told you, what I showed you cannot work if you don't practice it.
Yes.
What I showed you will not work if you're not doing something in relations to something that you could have. If you could have avoided it, you should have avoided it. If you're wrong, it's not going to do you right.
Well, my sister, it's about that time.
Yes.
And I just like to give a deep bow to you.
Yes.
And the one that made all things jumbo, big up the ranks that's hitting like gumbo. Podcast lit like power with a jitsu. EP down from bouncy to bolo. Fire with the topics when I interview. It's easy to gritty like sharp as Kinsu. Each one teach one, then we continue. Build and destroy all negative around you. Spilling all the beans so we could grow and feed you. Like and subscribe so we could later hit you.